Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the studio. Let's see what we got here. Looks like we could move a little bit closer now. Here we go. There we go. Gotta make sure we got a good shot of Kiba here. And I hear Minnie somewhere around here too. Underground, hey! Thank you for the resub. And good afternoon. So Underground, I know you've heard about our interesting weekend. Let's see, I haven't been online here since before we went to Dragon Con. It was like the week before because Daniel was feeling so bad. And because we were just like getting ready and packing up and everything and doing 12 million things at once. But as always, I'm going to work while I talk, unless there's a cat that needs to be petted. You gonna come say hi to everybody? You got it? There you go. All right. Never mind. Get untangled here. So we were at Dragon Con this past weekend. The show went well. It was a very successful show. We ended up getting a double booth there, so we have plenty of room now to spread out at that show. So now that is ours forever. Daniel is healing, and Crimson Sheep has been was heroic. Yes. So, we went down to Dragon Con, and Daniel was in, he wasn't feeling good. He was hurting quite a bit, but, you know how we can be sometimes. Oh no, surely it'll get better, surely. I've just got to wait it out. And, it turns out that what he needed to do was to go to the emergency room, and he spent 5 days in the hospital. Because, some things you cannot just walk off. So I ended up doing, setting up and doing Dragon Con all by myself. Until the last day when Crimson Sheep came down to help me tear down. He has acute pericarditis, which was he had, which is the inflammation of the lining around your heart. Your heart, there is a kind of a sac around your heart, and it was irritated, causing incredible pain when breathing, and also filling with fluid, which was affecting his heart. So, some scary things. Lots of scary things going on. There we go. So I am trying to make some travel mugs right now. This one is a little bit wonky. Let me see how tall it is. So the main, I think, lesson that we learned this weekend was that if you're hurting, go to the doctor. Don't just assume that it will get better. Don't assume that you know what you're doing. when you're in pain. And it doesn't get better, it just gets worse. So that you're not stuck 2 states away in an emergency room. But I had some other vendors who were checking on me while I was at the show, helping me out. So we, you know, we made it, and we had, you know, thanks to a lot of good people. Definitely a Dragon Con to remember. Oh, and there's a fight in the litter box. Well, really, guys? And, y'all, it's not what you think. It's probably Minnie trying to, like, smack Kiba while he's in the litter box, which I'm sure he deserves it for something that he's done, but she must be in a playful mood. Mariah, who is my employee, my helper here, she was checking on the cats when we were gone, and she sent us would send us just pictures of all the cats. And she came in one day, and Kiba was laying on the wheel. Like, of all the other places he could lay, like while we were gone, he laid on the wheel, and that was just like so heartwarming. Like, I'm gonna wait right here till they come back. I need a little cutter. Let's see where I've put it all. Because I'm constantly losing all my tools. Because that's what I do. There's that. Because they're just buried in here somewhere. Alright, fine. I'll turn this off. No, he made a very good post about it, which is what you saw, yes. Alright, there's one at least, finally. Of the probably 25 of these things I have floating around in here. Yeah, we have both been just kind of taking it easy the past couple of days. Like what we got back late Tuesday night, late Monday night. Tuesday we were both worthless. Like after the weekend we were just exhausted. And then yesterday wasn't all that much better. Wait, yesterday was Thursday. So Wednesday I got some stuff done in here, and then yesterday was like a half day. Because that level of stress just takes so much out of you. Adorned, hello! Good afternoon. Because I was going, like, the show, like, it was a really long show anyway. It was from 10 to 7 every day. And then I would have to get, like, an Uber over to the hospital and just hang out as long as I could there. And then go back to the, you know, second most expensive hotel room we were paying for that weekend. All right, that's good enough. Adorned, me too. Me too. No, we got lucky. I'm glad we like. He was hurting so bad because he couldn't breathe. He was like having like chest pains, but it wasn't like, and it's not the first time he's had them before. But the last time he had anything like this, we went to the doctor here and they gave him a steroid shot, and it went away. And like he got better, like it was a side effect of something else. So when it started coming back, he's like, "Oh, it's just that like sinus infection reaction thing again." It's like, and when it got to the point where he could barely even move, I'm like, no, it's like, here, there's like an urgent care like 2 blocks away from us. Let's just go get a steroid shot and make you feel better. And then they told him to go directly to the ER right now. And so after like thinking about it, we finally did, because he didn't get any better and they didn't give him any medicine for it. I mean, measure this. You can stay on track. And then went to the ER, and then they, thinking, okay, maybe they'll give me a steroid shot or get something to make him feel better, and they put him in a room for 5 days. They drew like 2 cups of fluid off of his heart, which is a lot. And that finally made him feel better. Here we go. Just measuring that out. But like I said, the key takeaway from this weekend is if you feel bad, go to the doctor. Don't think that you can just walk it off. You were in North Carolina. Oh, yeah. Well, and two, like a lot of it was hurry up and wait. We can say what happened now because it's after the fact, right? And we can say they did this in a concise and orderly fashion, but it was not that at all. They like they were going to. It's a holiday weekend, so we got him in there on Friday, and they were going to put everything off until Tuesday because the doctors were out. It was there was going to be a holiday weekend. Nobody was in for the weekend. They don't do procedures on the weekend, and so. But thankfully, they erred on the side of caution. They're like, no, we need to do some tests. Yeah, let's go in here and see. And when they got in, there was a lot more fluid than it looked like on the scans. And so, like, we are constantly learning the more we're having to deal with other medical institutions, like how good that place was. And also, it doesn't hurt that my aunt is a nurse, and when I told her where we were at Emory University Hospital in downtown Atlanta, and she's like, "You're at Emory?" She like totally fangirled out, and like that is one of the most prestigious hospitals in the world. Okay, so you're in good hands. I'm not worried about you at all. Then I'm like, it was like a half mile from our hotel room. It was the closest ER we could go to, and so they like, yeah. Lassa, thank you for the resub. And good afternoon. Welcome back, everybody. Lassa's how you heard, yes. No, it could have been a wholly different experience, yes. It's like they had all the equipment there to do everything they needed. Like, even now, like, here, like, we're in a small town. And, like, he went in to see our doctor as soon as we got back. And they're like, yeah, well, we want to do this, an ultrasound, like, have a cardiologist do another ultrasound to see if any fluid is coming back or see what the status of everything is. But, like, they only have a cardiologist that comes to town, like, either once a week or once a month. And here, like, they did, like, 5 of those tests on him. Like, they just rolled it in, and they had everybody on site, and he saw the cardiologist once a day. So we're like, okay, this is the difference, having being able to do something like this once a month versus whenever you need it. So a lot of things were put into perspective. Does that mean we're done for shows? No. We, are playing it by ear, and if nothing else, you know, it's going to be me and maybe some other people at the shows. He is not allowed to do any heavy lifting for at least a week, and then once they release him, I'm sure they'll give him a schedule of what he is actually allowed to do versus, you know, what he wants to do. We have 3 more shows to do this year. And you know what? It's kind of part of being small business owners. If we don't do the shows, we're out the money, and what are we going to do? We got to still pay our bills, you know. So we're gonna find different ways to work around and move things around. Underground, you're at work and there's a mouse. Oh, there's the drama of an actual physical mouse being there. Adorn, if you need a restock, like, let me know, because we've got, I just did an inventory, so it's not online yet, but if there's things you're looking for, let me know. So, like, pretty much I'm sold out. Things that I'm completely sold out of are going to be, like, the crazy cat lady things. I made, a bunch of the miserable childless cat lady mugs, and I completely sold out of all of those on the first day. And it was of a 4-day show. So, I'm going to make some more of those. Adorned? Well, I've got crazy cat lady mugs. You can see the pictures of them on the website, but I made miserable childless cat lady mugs. And we dusted off our nasty woman mugs too. And Adorn, thank you for the resub. Well, you haven't heard such fast Spanish speaking in your life. Well, I can say that, like, a mouse wouldn't bother me, but if I saw a spider, I could see the reaction to, like, a spider. So, Adorn, the mug said, miserable childless cat ladies. Hold on, I'll pull it up. Whoop, there went everything. Okay, let's clean this off. Let's see. While that's thinking. And this way I can show you some of the other new things we did as well. So, did I do one by itself? Yeah. So, there's one of them. And then I also did some book mugs, which I sold out of them. Then they did really well. Of course, Dragon Con is like a very like literature focused con. Like it's all types of pop culture, but there's a strong literature track there. So like all of my book themed mugs did well. Like people came up and would recognize some of the like different book mugs that I have that most of the time nobody knows what they are. All right, and there's the book themed ones. Well, I am making some more of them. Yeah, the I have no shelf control like is good. The I have to like I have no stash control. That's doesn't really fit the pun. All right. There we go. Let's try this again. Right, the goddess of yarn and wine. Yeah, that one just evolved from the pun. Mama bird, that one would be good for sewers and quilters, like stash, something with stash control. Because you're always increasing your stash, yeah. But the pun is like, I have no self-control, I have no shelf control. What can we do for stash? Well, like the goddess of yarn and wine, that's a pretty consistent one, and it started out as a Game of Thrones reference because Tyrion in the TV show, not in the books, but in the TV show, he makes the statement like, I am the god of tits and wine. And so I had somebody order one that said, I am the god of knits and wine, right? So I had that as one of my options, and then like somebody wanted it goddess of knits and wine. Okay, I can do that. And then someone ordered it goddess of knits and wine, and they complained. They're like, they wrote me a message saying like, why is this is wrong, this is so grammatically incorrect. Like, no, I want it to say, it should say yarn and wine or knit, you know. Why is it like this? This just, you know, it was really triggering this person. So here I am over the phone having to try to explain to somebody who's never seen Game of Thrones, doesn't know what it is, that knits rhymes with tits, and so it's funny. And so I made them a goddess of yarn and wine mug, and I've made that ever since. So sometimes things do evolve. So I have not made a fourth wing mug, but we do have like 5 or 6 of the Akatar mugs now. We've added more Akatar. Did you ever get one of the High Lady of the Night Courts? That's one of the newer ones. I guess we have 5. If you give me some suggestions for a fourth wing, I can do that. I've just not read the books yet. But I did have people asking. Everybody's like, oh, you've got Akatar. Do you have fourth wing? So I guess I'm going to have to do that one next. Underground, yes. It took me a second. I'm like, what? Oh, no, nope, yep. See, I haven't even, like, I don't even know how to approach Terry Pratchett. There's so much. That's kind of like the Monty Python. We did those, and we did 3 mugs for Monty Python. And and they sold pretty well. The one that says, go away or I shall taunt you a second time, that's the one that, like, we sold all of those on Friday. Feeling nitty with my yarn stash. I have the Star Wars one that says, that's no moon, that's my yarn stash, with it's like a ball of yarn as the Death Star. So we also did, where are they at? There. Here's a picture of the Monty Python mugs we did. And then one more, because I really like this one too. This one is the dragons. There's some more that I haven't, like, pictures I haven't edited, but you're trying to think about all the stuff people come in and say to you about their yarn stash. Okay, gotcha. What's the saying? People have an acronym for the stash outlasting their lifespan? I don't know. I haven't heard that one. Oh, and the holy hand grenade potion bottle, which I did manage to post on Facebook and Instagram. That was like that was great. And of course, we made so many of the we made the Monty Python stuff because John Cleese was going to be there, and he was a very late addition to the roster. So we kind of was like picked a couple of things and ran with it. Yeek! No, come on here. All right. Stay with me now. Fight, lady, fight! Our Dragon Con was very interesting. We had the show itself was good. It had, I think their final count was like 75,000 people. It was a lot of people, a lot of people. But it is definitely one that we will not forget anytime soon because Daniel was in the hospital for the majority of it in Atlanta. So. It's not that good kind of memorable. Too much tailgating, yep. I wish. So right now I am making some travel mugs. I've got several of these to make, so I want to make kind of start off making some of these every day that I'm throwing so I can build them up because they take a little bit longer. Let's trim this one off a little bit better than last time. So after our weekend, we've just now kind of getting back to work. All right. Observer Mama Bird, what do you have hanging in your craft room? Are y'all hearing music? Okay, because it said it was like going through, but I couldn't hear it, so I just moved on to the next one. Because I couldn't hear anything. Oh, it says, she who dies with the most fabric wins. There we go. Well, then my grandmother was definitely a winner. Just the fabric of what she had in her craft room was filled up a minivan, like completely filled up a minivan. The back, the front passenger seat, there was room for one person with all the fabric. Joy, hello. Good afternoon. And thank you. But we are multi-streaming right now. So we've got Joy coming in and commenting from Kick. So if you're on Twitch and you hear me talking to somebody and you don't see them, that's why. Arm, hello. Yeah, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back. Happy Friday. I realize it is Friday for everybody, and here I'm just now getting back to work, so it's like my Monday for me. What I'm making right now are some travel mugs. Let's see, could be a little bit taller. Let me get back over here. Here we go. Let's turn this down a little bit. Oh no, Arm. Yeah, that's the first comment I've seen from you. So I'm glad you got it to work. Yeah, and if you're wanting to take if you're looking to take classes, there are probably so many places around you where you can take a class. It's something that I always recommend, going to a place that has equipment. It has the wheels and the kilns and everything, so they can show you how to use them and before you go out and buy stuff on your own. I'm going to trim this one off a little bit on the top, just level it out. It helps keep the whole thing from being too wonky. There we go. But these will get handles, and these will get some medallions on them. The travel mugs, like specifically, I might have like 1 or 2 orders for an individual travel mug, but the majority of these are going to be going to the Louisiana Renaissance Fair. I'm very proud that I'm making mugs for them. There we go. Where's the cats? I know, where's the important people? I remember y'all are stuck with me today. I'm sorry. Kiba was up here earlier, and I hear Minnie. Like, I hear her jingly bell, but I don't know where she is. Kiba was up here on the wheel when I started, but then I did not continue to pet him, so he left me. Though though I know he missed us, because when we were gone, like, I had somebody checking on them every day, and they would send me pictures, and they're like, they came, he was laying here. Kiba was curled up laying on the wheel when they got here. Like, so I know he missed us. You know, of all the places he could choose to take a nap, he was curled up on the wheel. Oh, arm good. So was Indie FurCon this past weekend the same weekend as Dragon Con? About a week ago. So maybe it was 2 weeks ago. Okay. So were you at the con as a vendor? Were you selling your soaps, or were you just going for fun? Cobalt Reaver, hello. Good afternoon and welcome back, everybody. We're just getting back to work after having a very eventful long weekend this past weekend. Let's get this centered. Let's see here. It was a for fun event, so, but you made your charity cry happy tears, which is your goal. Oh, good. You've only got a slight bit of con crud. Good, good, good. There we go. You raised over $14K for a farm animal rescue, and the founder was 17 when she founded it in 17, so that amount of funds from people she doesn't know is overwhelming. Yes. Wow. See, and I'll measure this to make sure it's right. Okay, that looks good. Let me get the water out of the bottom of this one. There we go. we go. I clicked on something and now where is my guide? There we go. There we go. And like I said, these are travel mugs. They're going to get lids. That's why I have to make the rims a bit narrower. Got to make them pointy so the lid will fit well. So let's see, how many more of these do I have? 5, 6. So I've got 9 more of these I'm going to make. Whoop. Air bubble pop. Here we go. It's always very satisfying when you can just like cut it off and have it not flop over like that. Nice and smooth. Oh yeah, let me check the rim. Okay. You should know within the week or so if you are getting into the Midwest Fur Fest in December. Well, good luck. There we go. This one's a bit twisty, but it has not collapsed on us yet. Put some downward pressure on it and then make it a little bit narrower. So I did get to see a lot of cosplays as they came through the vendor hall this weekend. And one of the ones that I've seen other places, but I'm a little bit confused by it, is the Mrs. Roper cosplay groups. So if y'all don't, that doesn't mean anything to you. If you remember the 70s show Three's Company, Mrs. Roper was the landlord. And always had, like, you know, curly red hair, and always wore these, like, very super colorful, almost like, for lack of a better term, like moo-moo, like, you know, flowy dresses. But why is that a thing? That is one thing I don't know. Like, I've seen Mrs. Roper, like you know, group meetups nights, like, but I need to look that up and research, like, why and how did that specific thing become such a big deal. But there was a massive amount of people dressed up, and granted, it is a pretty easy cosplay to do. I wondered if anybody else knew anything about it. I need to look that up because I'm curious. For all the things to catch on and get attention, that's not what I thought it would be. Oh, the Midwest is like, it's in contest to be, it's like one of the world's largest cons. Whoa. Which is probably why they have a waiting list, right? Yeah. There we go. Bruised Weasel, hey! Thank you for the resub. So we're a bit wobbly there. Here we go. Remember, what I'm making don't really need to open it that wide. Alright, let's see if we can make this into a travel mug. Here we go. Perfect. I do like when I get it right on the first try. Wibbly wobbly. This one wants to be a swirly mug. Maybe I should follow my own rules and slow this down. What do I always say? Like the taller something is, or the slower it is, or the wider it is, the slower you need to go. Here we are. Diomedes. Hello. So, by the time you messaged me, they were all gone. But I will make you another one. I'm actually going to be making some more of the potion bottles today after I get done with these. Make as close to the movie as I can. Well, so, like, tell me what you mean by that, because, you know, we are talking about little bitty potion bottles here. Like, it's not an actual coconut. Color scheme. Well, that's why I went with the like the chicory color, because it was like a matte brown. I thought that was the closest to a coconut I could get. See what how big this is. Here we go. All right. All right. Missy, hello. Good afternoon. And welcome to the studio. You say it's so satisfying to watch. Well, thank you. Yeah, I say it's a lot of people tell me that it's like, you know, like mesmerizing or like you say satisfying to watch, but it's like super mesmerizing and relaxing for me to do as well. It's very easy to kind of get caught up in the repetitive motions and just lose track of time. Which is, you know, one of the reasons that got me into this. It's one thing that, it's why we do a lot of our hobbies, isn't it? To relax. This is 1 1/4 pounds, so 1 pound and 4 ounces. And so it's about, I've got it measured to about a 7 1/4 inch high. That's what I'm making it right now. It'll be a little bit under 6 inches when it's done, or or maybe a little bit over 6 inches with that. Maybe 6.5 inches, I think, is what the final height is going to be. Because it'll shrink. The clay shrinks 12%, so the mugs usually lose about a 1/2 inch. Hack, hello. Good afternoon. Welcome, everybody. Happy Friday. And these are going to be my travel mugs, which is why I'm measuring them so precisely at the top. Because I have silicone lids that will go on them. So I have to make the mug to match the lid. Hack said you went on a ceramics date a little bit ago and you got on the wheel after probably 15 years of not doing it. Yeah. Do you still remember how? You couldn't figure out why it felt so weird to do it. Turns out you threw left-handed. Yes, you need the wheel to spin the other way. I've had that happen before. Somebody would come in and they would keep trying to use their left hand instead of their right hand. I'm like, wait, let's see if we can flip this around. I think I know what the issue is. Yeah. Luckily, I have one of the wheels that can switch directions. And what's interesting is when I was first learning, taking my first classes, so we use treadle wheels, which, so they're not electric. They are one step up from a kick wheel. So you just kind of start the wheel one way or the other, and you have a lever that you pump that spins a big flywheel, and that's what gets it going and builds up speed, so you don't have to constantly kick it. You just get it going and then kind of give it a bit of a kick every once in a while to keep it going. And so I tried either way at first, and I was like ambidextrous. I could center either way at first. And I just chose to do it right-handed because I was right-handed everything else, and, you know, probably a good thing I did that. But, like, when I'm like, oh, yeah, I can, sure, you know, 15 years after I did that, I was like, yeah, sure, I can teach somebody how to do this left-handed, and I could not. I could not. It was so weird. It felt so odd, like, you don't realize how much, like, each hand's learn different movements and get used to doing those movements, yeah. We figured it out. But it was very humbling. Yeah, non-electric sounds fun. You know, that's how I learned. And so when I tried, used my first electric wheel, because I think my senior year when I was in school, like, they were getting some electric wheels, like the advanced students got to use the electric wheels, right? And so I was going to, I got to that point, I'm like, okay, I'm going to use an electric wheel, and I hated it. I hated it because at that point the electric wheel they had was like, it had like 3 main settings, like slow, medium, and fast, which is technically, I think, like good for a beginner because you don't have to worry about changing the speed of the wheel. But I was so used to the treadle wheel in that I could adjust the speed as I needed, and that's one good thing about it. You have control. You can speed up or slow down as you need to, and so I was so used to that I hated the electric wheel. And that's one reason I like this one, which I got just randomly. I didn't like seek out this brand or anything, but it has like a it's a variable speed, so if I'm using a foot pedal, I can go, you know, as fast or as slow as I want to at any stage. Now I'm standing at the wheel right now, so I have a knob that's, you know, it's set to 1 speed right now, and I have to change it if I want to speed up or slow down, but I'm glad I have the electric wheel, because in the long run, like a treadle wheel would be probably really hard on your back because you would be like constantly standing on one leg. Well, the cats, they've abandoned me, it seems. They were here at the beginning of stream, but I you know, then I put water on everything and they left. So y'all are just stuck with me today. They have forgiven us much quicker this time than the last time we were gone. And apparently Kiba was coming up here and like sleeping on the wheel while we were gone. And so that was incredibly sweet. Like, that's a person who was checking on the cat sent me that picture. Like, this is where we found him. Alright, that's a good width and a good height. That's the last one! That's the last one! Whew, I thought I had one more. Good, good, good. So that was 16 of them. That's pretty good. So I've got a lot of things I need to make. And sometimes, like, trying to pick out like, where to start first is the hardest thing to do. So I started with those, because I want to do a few of the travel mugs every day until I get a bunch of them made up, because it's very daunting to, like, sit down and try to do those non-stop, because they take a little bit longer and they're very nitpicky. They are not relaxing to make. They are not. So let's see what I've got here. I think I will make, I'll do my 20-ounce mugs next. I said I was going to make some of the 10-ounce, and I will make some 10-ounce mugs, but I think I'll do these first. And get them out of the way. So I've only got, like, I think, like 40 here. I'm going to make this one and then measure it. And see if I need to make any adjustments before I cut it off. Oh wow, that's really tall. Is that the right? Make sure that's the right side. Yeah. Maybe that's why it was a little bit wobbly. Okay. Okay, I want to double check my guide and make sure it's good. Okay. Tile, and then that. Wonder Hamster, what's up? So I'm assuming you're being like facetious because I don't think you would be serious about that in Twitch chat. They want you to do a short survey about your stay. Oh, well. I see why you think you need some help. I mean, they kept you alive. And that's the most important thing. Nobody thinks a hospital stay is gonna be fun. Right now it is a little bit shorter than it needs to be. My plans were foiled. Oh, really? Wow. So he knew exactly what it was. So you're saying that he has seen much worse. So that much fluid might have gone away on its own, but it hadn't in a week. Yeah, and they chose caution. Yeah, I'm glad they chose caution. Woo, no. There we go. Do I do the little swirl on the bottom as a signature? No, it's more just that's what happens. You know, you get your hand in there and you, as you're opening it up, it leaves a little swirl. And sometimes it's more of a hassle to smooth it out than it is not. If it's like sharp, if it comes to a point, we'll like, you know, wipe it down a bit when we're cleaning them up. But it's just part of the throwing process. It's a throwing line. It's one way you can tell if something is hand thrown or not. Because even if the outside is smoother, usually you'll see the throwing lines on the inside. Yeah, because after I open that up, I probably hardly ever touch the bottom again. Remeasure just to make sure nothing is moved. Make sure I'm measuring from the center. Perfect. Now these are my regular mugs. They're going to hold 20 ounces. So we just call them the 20-ounce mugs, but it's kind of my standard size. It's what I started making. At one point it was the only size, and then we made smaller versions and travel mug sizes and tankards. Erta Lee, hello! So satisfying to watch because it's been a while, yeah. So yeah, welcome to the studio, everybody. And this is like, it's super like relaxing for me to do these right now, especially after the travel mugs. The travel mugs can be stressful. So this is like my comfort zone of making these. These are the pieces I can make without even having to think about it. And that's because mugs are the things that I make most often. Do my hands dry out from being wet for hours? They do, but like, you know, not while I'm working. It's much more uncomfortable, like if I'm doing hand building, where your hands will get like a little bit damp, and then they'll dry, then the clay will dry out and get itchy, and then you go back and forth and back and forth. When I'm throwing, like, you know, they stay pretty hydrated until I stop, and then sometimes my hands will just like shrivel up afterwards. But I will say I am in southern Kentucky. So during the summer, it's not that big of a deal because we're so humid here. But in the wintertime, I go through a lot of lotion. It's like immediately after cleaning up, like you've gotta hydrate again. And I like to use eczema cream because it's not greasy. And it works fast. Italy, you know, I think I've heard of that. Like, isn't there one called like liquid skin or something like that? That like you put on your hands first, and then they repel moisture. I've heard of that, but I've not tried it. I was actually thinking of like, I wonder if I could get something to put over my nails, because my finger, my index finger, and my thumb, like my nails get worn down. And sometimes get painfully thin, even though I'm using a sponge. I guess the closest thing I've used to those, the silicone creams, is the new skin like Band-Aid stuff. I've used that if I had a cut, and it lasts for a pretty good while, especially if it's not in the direct, you know, line of contact. It locks the moisture in. The best cream you've used is the brand Derma. I've heard of that. Yeah, like I said, I think the best creams. Like I don't know if I would recommend one brand over the other, but like the eczema creams, I've also used oh what's the green bottle? O'Keefe's Working Hands. I've used that one too. Oh, really? Yeah, I didn't even look at what the ingredients were. Oh, it like takes the whole night to soak in. Yeah, see, that's why I think I like some of the my favorite creams are ones that like soak in immediately. But my hands are also super dry at that point, so it gives kind of immediate relief, but it's not greasy. Erdely, have a good evening. Thanks for stopping by. Not been following any of my rules here. We're almost to 30 and I haven't hydrated much at all. Alright, so now we have 30 pieces. I wonder where that was that fell. Something fell. Spook, hey! Good afternoon. So this is my first day back at throwing. We've been recovering from Dragon Con. And not in that, oh, we had too much fun way. We're exhausted. The Daniel was in the hospital for 5 days way, where the stress and anxiety and worry of all of that needed a bit of time to recover from. He is okay. He is recovering. So, like, Dragon Con, like, the show, like, I was there doing it myself, like, it was good. People were there, people bought stuff. It was a good show, thank goodness. But, Daniel was having chest pains and was like could barely breathe the night after setup, or actually the several days, even before. Like he drove down there, but he could barely, like, he was having a lot of trouble breathing, and ended up going to the emergency room and thinking maybe to get a steroid shot or something, and instead they kept him and they pulled 2 cups of fluid off of his heart. So, or the area around his heart, not his heart itself, the area around his heart. So I don't think I cut that one off. So I was there. The show was like from 10 to 7 every day, and so I did that, and then I would go sit with him at the hospital until, or as long as I could. And so that's why we needed to recover from it. So, like I say, it's been, it will definitely be the most memorable Dragon Con ever. Just not for the good reasons. You're exactly right, Spook. Yes, he has acute pericarditis, which was the it was like inflammation of the lining around your heart, and then inside of that there was fluid. Spook, I will. And they were keeping him for observation. Like it was so like there was so much uncertainty until they finally did something. Like they were just doing tests, and they're like, well, maybe, like, it's holiday weekend, like, maybe we'll keep you here for observation, and then maybe we'll do something on Tuesday. We're like, please, we gotta be out of here. We're not gonna be here. Like, if you're gonna do something, please do something, or just let me go home if I'm just gonna have you're just gonna give me ibuprofen. But I'm glad they erred on the side of caution, because they were like doing tests and couldn't see all the fluid, but they once they got in there, they pulled a lot more out than they thought they would. So I'm glad they were overly cautious. Yeah, Spook, no problem. But yeah, so we're finally getting back at it, and Daniel's recovering, but he's sore and moving slow and not allowed to lift anything. Right, yeah, adventurous. That's why I say the Dragon Con to remember. It's too much adventure, yeah. So I think the lesson that we've learned this weekend is that if something doesn't feel right and you're in a lot of pain, go get it checked out. Chaotic Kitten, hello. Good afternoon. Yeah, welcome back, everybody. Were the geeks prolific? Yes. No, we did sell quite a few things. It's always interesting to see what sells at each show, and I'll say that I think still Lord of the Rings is going to be our top seller at every show we go to, no matter what, because it's consistent across the board, no matter what type of show it is. Lord of the Rings is always popular, and it's always kind of recognizable. But So at Dragon Con, we did have quite a few Lord of the Rings guests, though. So that helped. Because Elijah Wood was there. And I don't... maybe it was only 3 of them. Maybe it was only 3 of them. Because last year, I think Sean Austin was there. This year, I don't think he was there. But so we had like a lot of the Lord of the Rings stuff. Interestingly enough, like normally my top 2 categories that like are just consistent everywhere is like Lord of the Rings and Princess Bride. But this year, Princess Bride was not as popular there. And you know, we have so many choices. This is Dragon Con is always the con where we take where like maybe the smaller known, lesser known fandoms are always going to be popular. Like a lot of my book things were immediately recognized and people loved them. So there's so there's that. And Star Trek is always big there. Like, Star Trek is usually something that's consistent, but, like, I may sell, like, 1 or 2 Star Trek things at a show on average, but, like, I sell everything there. Like I posted some pictures earlier, but I'll post them again or share them again here. We had I made some book things, and I sold out of all of them. So they will be on the website as soon as we can get them on there. There we go. Those were some of the, and you probably saw me making them and glazing them, but there they are finished. Chaotic Kitten, yeah. You're getting your ID replaced so you can get a passport, yeah. Well, good luck. Hopefully you don't have to wait in too long of a line. I actually did that for the first time last year. Because in Kentucky, we had, like, to get the updated IDs so you can fly, like, is basically you had to have every single thing that you would need for a passport. So since I'd already, like, gotten all of that stuff together, I just went ahead and got my passport, too. You have a tee with a pair of combat boots on them that says, you like big boots and I cannot lie, or you designed the tee. Yeah, I need to get a, I'll say, I saw a shirt that said, I have no shelf control, and so I need to get a shirt. So now that I've got my mug, I need to, wish I could just make a shirt of that design. I need to. All right, Chaotic Kitten, thanks for stopping by. Oh, trying to get something out of there, but now it's stuck to the wall. There we go. You know what number that was? That was number 42. That mug will hold the answers to life, the universe, and everything. Come on, stay with me now. All right, we'll do 10 more of this size. And I'd like to do some 10 ounce. Whoop, whoop, whoop. So we've got 48. We're moving right along. These are going a bit faster than the travel mugs. What number are we at? We are at 49. I'm not going to give this one a number yet because I don't want to jinx it. Are the supervisors in the window today? If I had to guess, that's where I think they are. It's the time of day when they get some direct sunlight up in the front window, so I'd say that's where they are. So now we have 50. And that means I need to hydrate. So I've got 5 more of these I can do. 52. Well, I see a Kiba here. He's checking the status of his food bowl. It's a very important part of his day. I should have stopped while I was ahead. Or just added more water. I think it'll be okay. Here we go. Just got a little wrinkle in it. There we go. Why, hello, buddy. Yeah? Here you go. Hold on, I'm coming. There you go. I've got one more of these I need to make. Mm-hmm. I hear that purr. See, Spook asked where you were, and you put your tail. You immediately come up here and put your tail in the water, buddy. Yes. There we go. Can you hear his purr? Like he has this motor going. He's like, I'm in the happy spot. Shedding everywhere. Yes, he's got to make sure that 2% cat fluff is in every piece. Maybe not that much, though. There we go. He is a dandelion. Like, you pet him, and there's just, like, white fluff everywhere. Right there? Okay. Okay, now this side. Yes, sir. I am a well-trained human. Neil has finally calmed down enough that her fur has grown back in. She got stressed out. Oh, no. You think of it, like, from the move and everything? Hmm. Mm-hmm. You gonna go for a spin? Hmm? Spread out the cat hair evenly. Watch out for your tail. There we go. He's like, the things I do for pets. The things I do for pets. Oh, his tail is in the water. His tail is in the water. Cat, you've only got half a tail. And now it's... couldn't... You probably can't even feel it. Yeah. There you go. Over here. Oof. Time to trim your claws again. You're getting stuck. I gotta make another piece. Minchie Fox, hello. I see what you're doing. I don't trust you. He likes to bite. He'll bite if he's not getting the attention he thinks he deserves. That was weird. Wonder what happened there. Kiba always wants pets. He wants the pets to never stop. His like perfect scenario would be somebody that would just let him sit in their lap and pet him nonstop. Like, I have never seen him happier than when I had like well, I've had done it several times. Had that troop of Girl Scouts in here doing a class, and when they just had, you know, like 6 or 7 little girls just all around him, petting him all at once. I mean, there's never been such joy on a cat's face. All right, that's 55. All right, so this is only 12 ounces. So where that was a little bit over a pound, this is a little bit less than a pound, so 3/4. And I'm making the 10-ounce mug. So I'll make this one kind of like I did the with the regular mugs. I'll make it and then measure it. I'll kind of guesstimate it the first time, measure it, and then make any adjustments. Okay, that's good. And then I'll adjust this. Okay. Because I've got my guide set up in OBS to measure the height of these, which is how I'm measuring them without having to stop and actually measure each one. You hear gooses. Geese? Is that normal? Like, I've recently discovered that, like, geese have their own fan clubs, just like people love, like, pigs or, you know, cats or whatever, you know, for decorating, for just, like, t-shirts and everything. Like, I've seen a resurgence in the little, like, is it concrete ducks or concrete geese that you can get to put out in your front yard, or, you know, at the sidewalk, and people dress them up, or on your front porch and people dress them up. Oh, big among duck hunters too. Yeah, good point. I remember, like, ducks and geese and birds being a big theme of, like, 90s country kitchen, you know, motif. But I guess they're making a comeback, or maybe they just never went away. Yeah, there was an estate sale. It might not have happened yet here, but in some of the pictures of the estate sale, it was like duck decoys, like shelves and shelves and shelves. I'm sure some of them were just like collectible, but like shelves and shelves and shelves of duck decoys. Speaking of duck hunters. Spook, you got a river on one side and a huge cemetery on the other, so it could be ghost geeses. Are you haunted by ghost geese? Gooses? Geese? We're gonna make a tongue twister here pretty soon. I was just thinking, I don't know if I ever have eaten duck or not. I don't know. That's what you said when you moved there. It's like, at least the neighbors are quiet. And the site manager said, but are they? Well, I hadn't even counted, but that was number 60. Alright, we got it to work a little bit. Okay, I think I'll do 3 more of these. That'll give me 65, and that'll be a good place to stop today. And I'll pick up again tomorrow. Oh, Spook, thank you. Yeah, one thing I did see at DragonCon, which was awesome, was somebody wearing one of our potion bottles with the leather straps that they got last year. So that was awesome to see. Because at first I'm like, oh, did they just buy that? Like, no, I don't have one of that color here. I know they didn't purchase that one here. And this is the same size and amount of clay I used for the potion bottles, so I'll be making some of those as well. Because we don't have many left. My probably one of my favorite like customer interactions was like the story of why someone was buying something was like I have the potion bottles that say lots of different things on them, like love potion number 9, gummy berry juice, or health, mana, and stamina, but I make one that says poor unfortunate souls, like from the Little Mermaid, Ursula's potion bottles. And somebody bought one and said because they were a pastor and they wanted to have that in their study. I'm like, that is hilarious. That is the greatest thing ever. And and they knew full well it was from the Little Mermaid and that they would have people like singing that song to them, but they thought it was funny and they wanted to have it. So most popular item, I actually haven't looked that up yet, but I know we sold several of the Prancing Ponies. It's going to be either between Prancing Pony or Fluff You, the Fluff and Fluffer, the cat mug that I have. It's a mug. It's got like a big fat black cat on it. On the inside it says Fluff You, you Fluff and Fluffer. But overall, like the tankards, like tankards sold really well. I took 6 of the I only had time to make like 6 of the mimic tankards, and I sold them. But as far as like the phrase, the most popular phrase, I think it was going to be between one of those two and just the cat items in general. And the cauldron mugs sold well too. We have I made a couple of different phrases in the cauldron shape, and they did well. Speaking of which, I should have made one of those. I'll have to make one of those tomorrow. I had a custom order for one of the cauldron mugs. You knew they'd go well, yeah. I don't know if necessarily people liked the shape or liked what was on them, because I didn't have a lot of, like, if I had it in a mug, I didn't necessarily make it in a regular mug. I didn't make it in the cauldron, except I did a couple that had like the goddess Triple Moon. I did a couple with that, and those sold. And one of them said just witch's brew, and I made a polyjuice potion. I made one that said, I'm 100% that witch. So what was the other one? Magical beans. Oh yeah, and I made Poor Unfortunate Souls as well with that one. So, Life's a Witch. Yeah, I can do Life's a Witch. Yeah. And of course, and now that you mention that, I can. Take me a few weeks, because with everything else that happened this weekend, our Glowforge died. So we are getting so what the Glowforge does is kind of overkill, but they do it quickly. They, instead of sending you a replacement part to fix the thing yourself. They tell you to send the entire thing back and they send you a new one. So we're doing that process. They do have good customer service. Whoa, Megan, hey, thank you for the raid. Welcome. You beat me to it. I was about to, like, this was going to be my last piece. I'm about to raid out myself. But welcome. We got a little bit of time. Good afternoon. Hope you're doing well. This is actually my first day back after we got back from Dragon Con. So I'm restocking a little bit. This is one of my smaller mugs, so this is going to be one of the 10-ounce mugs. Hey, Bug. Hey, Emily. Yeah, welcome, everybody. So the show was the show was good. People bought things, which is why I'm having to restock. We had it was a bit more adventurous than we had planned on it being, because Daniel ended up being in the hospital for the entirety of the con. So I ended up doing it myself, and he is recovering. He is on the mend, but it made for a stressful and very memorable Dragon Con. So he ended up having what is called acute pericarditis, which is the inflammation of the lining around your heart that fills with fluid. And they pulled quite a bit of fluid off of his heart, so he can now breathe again. So that's why I haven't heard much from us in a while. It's been a weekend, but feeling better and getting back at it. Yes, thankfully we had a friend come down and help me like load out and get everything out of there. And I had people, you know, other vendors help me out too, like giving me bathroom breaks and just helping me throughout the con. So we were very lucky. But I definitely don't want to have a Dragon Con like that ever again. That's what we've been saying. We're like, well, it's definitely our most memorable Dragon Con. But it was a good show. So I was able to kind of, I think I may have had it better than him in more than one way, because I was busy the entire time instead of, you know, sitting and waiting in a hospital bed, waiting for decisions to be made. So so Bug, what do you mean? Is that a one-of thing? Like, is it something that, like, honestly, like, the part that worries me the most is like they didn't know what caused it. So that's going to be what we're going to have to figure out. Like, they don't know what caused the inflammation or the irritation, but they got him feeling better, and that was the most important thing. So now that we're back home, we can do things a little bit, you know, now that there's been some, like, relief, they can run more tests and do that, but we were, you know, 2 states away, too, so. And be back with our own doctors and everything. So we're going to hope that it doesn't happen again. And what I've been saying too, what we're taking away from this weekend is to, like, if you're hurting and if something is really bad wrong, go get it checked out. Don't just hope that it goes away. Don't just hope that it'll get better, because that's what he did. And And so we ended up having to go to the ER. But and so now if that, like, if anything like that ever happens again, if he even feels a little twinge, he's going to know to immediately go get it checked out. So and we are very fortunate that we learned that lesson and things have turned out well. Like they stressed to us, like, at every step of the way that, like, there's nothing wrong with his heart. There is no chance that you're having a heart attack. There's nothing wrong with your heart. It's just this, there's pressure on it from the outside from the fluid. So that you know, does make us feel a lot better. Right, Megan, that's always how it goes. We learn our lessons by the mistakes that we make, and that's how you know, if we're lucky enough to get through them, then that's, you know, we learn from them. Yeah, so right now we're just, like, getting all the records from there to here and getting everybody on the same page. So the fun stuff. But we're, you know, he feels a lot better. It's easier to figure out why something has happened once, you know, there's not the urgency of fear of death. Oh, really, Emily? Like, your mom had one of those, there's nothing wrong with your heart, but this weird thing happened, but she's okay too. Well, good, good. Well, that's like they said, there's so much going on in there. It's hard to unless you, like, have pre-existing conditions, it's hard to just what's that home in on, like, one thing that's wrong, you know? All right, so I'm gonna go see who else is on right now, because I'm done for the afternoon. I'm gonna see if I can get the pieces that I threw today. We ended up doing 66, so it's not horrible. And a lot of the things that I'm making, like the regular mugs that I made today, are going to go to Twitchcon. So that's a lot of what I'm doing, and some of them are going to be custom orders. Bug, thank you so much. Let's see what we got. I think we're going to go see Positively Crafty. Lots of healing vibes our way. Thank you so much. No, thank you. All right. So guys, thank you for watching. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Hopefully I'll be back tomorrow and I can do more. But if I don't see you again, have a good weekend. And thanks for stopping by. Thanks for hanging out with me for a little bit. It's good to be back and good to talk to everybody again. We're going to go see Positively Crafty. Looks like they're doing some beading. So let's go say hello. Y'all have a good evening.